Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family, a very dumb crime family, the Gambozos, if you will, and I mean, that son of a bitch, you know, is really unbelievable.
Mr. Son of a bitch.
I mean,
Mr. Son of a bitch.
His royal... Yes, no, I never imagined that we'd ever have a president like this, and I hope we don't ever have another president like this again.
Now, let's discuss one of the most amusing and persistent one-man takedowns in late-night history. Jimmy Kimmel and Donald Trump Jr. This is more than a rivalry. This is a masterclass in live television exposure, public roasting, and witnessing a man who aspires to be his father's heir but instead becomes the family meme. Today, we're delving into every significant instance in which Donald Trump Jr. was exposed, ridiculed, and thoroughly roasted by Jimmy Kimmel on live television, as well as why Jr. consistently walks right into it.
Trump by 16 points. I'm at +3, he's at -13. It's nice, but it feels like, considering the fact that I'm not a convicted felon friend of Jeffrey Epstein, and I've never paid off or send a team of masked goons into a park to pull an old lady away from her grandchildren, I feel like my rating should be higher, maybe, than...
Concluded that it was somehow a good idea to tweet evidence against himself. You recall the notorious I love it email chain? The one in which he consented to meet with a Russian attorney in exchange for information about Hillary Clinton? He shared the emails on Twitter rather than remaining silent like someone with half a brain and a lawyer on rapid dial. On Jimmy Kimmel Live that evening, Jimmy Kimmel lost it. It was unbelievable. No one could.
Held responsible for making safety last, but fortunately for him, he's got an ardent defender in one Donald J. Jr.
Pete Buttigieg, you saw in the clip earlier, he's taking some personal time because, 19 days isn't enough time. Plus the time he spent chest feeding while we were in the midst of a supply chain crisis and 350 million Americans were depending on him to do his day.
He said that this was the first instance of a man willingly disclosing his own misdeeds online in American history. It is the most foolish type of transparency in political history, according to Kimmel. The crowd let up a yell. It was more than a joke. It was a moment that demonstrated the true insanity of the Trump family's damage management strategy. Kimmel never stopped talking about Donald Trump Jr. after that day. You can guarantee Jimmy had a monologue ready to go in the event of a controversy, an error, or an ill-timed book tour.
Is more perturbed right now than Trump's most disappointing son.
And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Trump already beat Stormy Daniels in court? In all fairness, isn't she paying his legal bills or something like that? I don't know.
His hands move faster than his brain. They're what is it? It's like if Jim Henson had no puppets. How you doing over there? I'm doing real good. The important thing for DJ TJ isn't necessarily defending his father in the Trump family. What's most important is this.
The other thing that you should be watching is the insanity going on in the market right now. So I want to make sure that I take the time to tell you about another one of our great sponsors.
Let's fast forward to 2018. Headlines were dominated by the circus surrounding Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation. Kimmel returned his focus to Don Jr., who had been tweeting his indignation everywhere, while the Trump administration was busy politicizing the Supreme Court. Don Jr.'s post about women's believability, Kimmel reminded his audience, was like a fox tweeting about henhouse security. It was barbaric. Don Jr. simply continues giving the man free stuff, and the man has timing. The triggered era began in 2019.
Trump is in the UK, or as he has to be reminded not to call it, the UCK. Paddington Unbearable is in England for an official visit with the royal family. Wait till he finds out tea time has nothing to do with golf. He's going to be very upset. The royals are expected to greet the president and first lady tomorrow, but some clever Brits are already...
Ironically, it turned out to be the year that everyone understood he was the most easily triggered of all. His book, Triggered, was meant to be about how the left couldn't handle free speech. The interview went utterly crazy when he appeared on The View to promote it. He snapped at the hosts, was jeered by the crowd, and appeared to be a man who regretted every PR choice he had ever made. The only thing more awkward than this interview is Don Jr. realizing he's not actually the favorite child, Jimmy Kimmel remarked after playing the clip on his show.
Learned that Donald Trump Jr., DJ TJ, was in, get that going, all right? Start saying it. Was in regular contact with WikiLeaks during his father's campaign, which might have something to do with why Donald Trump said he loved WikiLeaks more times during the campaign than he said he loved Melania. But DJ TJ received a number of direct messages from WikiLeaks via Twitter, and he responded to 3 of them. My favorite part of the story is his first response to WikiLeaks started with, put it up on the screen, this is real, started with, off the record. Now, this is WikiLeaks. The word leaks is right in the name. There's no off the record with them. So anyway, Junior Donald tried to minimize his relationship with WikiLeaks on his Twitter account, but they did have a relationship, although it's possible he thought he was in a conversation with Nene Leaks.
It was terribly accurate, but it was also brutal. A few days later, Don Jr. attempted to host a Turning Point USA event at UCLA to sell the same book, but the disaster persisted. Because they were not permitted to ask questions, the audience, his own conservative base, began jeering him. A man selling free speech was being jeered for not permitting free speech in a scene straight out of a sitcom. The following night, Kimmel gave a hilarious monologue. It turns out that Don Jr. doesn't even like free speech when it's directed at him, he remarked.
And he's testifying in this $250 million fraud trial, and he has to compliment, he said his father is an artist with real estate. Yeah, he's an artist. He's Vincent Van Gogh to jail with real estate. Is what he is.
And Don Jr. did what he does best. Tweet angrily about Hollywood elites while acting as though he didn't care. Then, in early 2020, Don Jr. appeared a bit too animated at CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference. If you understand what I mean, Kimmel joked on his show that Don Jr. appeared to have had too many energy drinks. It wasn't a cheap shot, it was humor based on observation. The man was pacing, talking, and perspiring like he was trying to sell a second-hand automobile to a raccoon.
Scale of my father. He's saying that his father, the father of the hotel gym, is a guy who's never stepped inside one, okay? The amount of ass-kissing in this trial is insane. DJ TJ, of course, denies any and all wrongdoing and is instead going with the our accountants did it defense.
I'm not supposed to rely on a Big 5 accounting firm, like one of the biggest accounting firms in the world. I can pay them millions of dollars. I rely on them to do accounting, but I'm supposed to know more than them. By this logic, insurance companies are going to start suing patients for listening to their doctors. Right? Do you understand? Like, am I supposed to know more? Oh, Don Jr. doesn't know anything about it. I'm not an accountant. I'm a business guy.
I'm a business guy who had his elbows soldered together, and now...
It was best expressed by Kimmel. It appears that Donald Trump Jr. is trying out for the Wolf of Wall Street 2 MAGA edition. Additionally, Kimmel did not overlook Don Jr.'s subsequent positive CO-19 test. He reminded the audience that this was the same person who minimized the virus and made fun of mask mandates. Kimmel continued, "You hate to say I told you so, but when it comes to Don Jr., you kind of have to say it slowly so he understands." But as time passed, things grew darker.
Friend, moments after we taped our show last night, the Mad Red Hatter wrote, "I can't believe ABC Fake News gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back." You can't believe they gave me my job back. I can't believe we gave you your job back.
Don Jr. was no longer only doing strange interviews. He was disseminating conspiracy ideas on the internet. He posted a doctored video disparaging Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, earlier this year. One of the few late-night hosts who regularly calls out misinformation, Kimmel, went off. Imagine being so desperate for attention that you're sharing fake war propaganda while your dad is getting indicted, he said to his audience.
Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? Who puts the network in jeopardy? You hear that? There's the threat again. This time straight from FCC Biscuit's mouth. He goes... He says, I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Only Donald Trump would try to prove he wasn't threatening ABC by threatening instead of WikiLeaks from the Real Housewives, but it still is. So, what's going on?
James Kimmel, we are everywhere. We are Legion. We are WikiLeaks.
How did you get past our firewall?
We got your password.
How did you get our password?
It was 1234.
All right. Well, what do you want? What can I do for you?
We would like to make a statement regarding our relationship with Donald Trump Jr.
Oh, so you do admit to having a relationship with Donald Trump Jr.?
No, we don't have a relationship.
Well, you direct messaged him on Twitter, and he sent you back, I think, 4 red heart emojis and an eggplant.
It's less of a relationship, more of a friends with benefits thing.
So it wasn't a relationship, it was a friendship?
We're not putting labels on things. We're keeping it loose. We're open to colluding with other people.
All right. All right, well, thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it.
If you're looking to collude, Jimmy, let us know. We'd love to kick it.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you very much. If I do kick it, I will.
Because it wasn't merely humorous, that line struck a deep chord. It was satire masquerading as fact. Not to be overlooked is nepotism. Don Jr. has frequently been ridiculed by Kimmel for being a constant +1. He referred to him as the person who consistently attends parties to which he was not invited. Every morning, he said, Don Jr. looks in the mirror and declares, "One day, I'll make Dad proud," then spends the next 24 hours proving why that's never going to happen. He has made fun of his unsuccessful business endeavors, his attempts at political commentary, and his fixation with projecting an image of toughness on the internet.